this is really cool. So, they said, you can't go from a $350,000 unit club to $1 million unit club. They said, you can't go from having a unit of 145 and complete this million. You have to have at least 300. You need to work to $500,000, then to trip, and then maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to do million. But they didn't know the heart, the passion, the spirit, and the drive, and the champion mentality of the Power Unit. You are excellence personified. You are the best of the best. You broke records. You exploded belief barriers. You changed your lives and you changed mine. It is said that champions do not become champions when they win the event, but in the hours, weeks, months, and years they spend preparing for it. I stand before you today in a very expensive pair of shoes. That I paid for with my Star Sales Director bonus. Representing the greatest, the best of the best, champions of champions, the Power family. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Leading you this year has been one of the greatest gifts of my life, and I love you. Well, I came to Mary Kay Cosmetics 9 years ago on a complete, total, and utter fluke. My background is computer software, obviously. I was a huge cosmetic snob, huge. I believed that Mary Kay was for very old people. And I was not ever going to try it. But God is so good. And my 18-year-old daughter, Mackenzie, had a Mary Kay facial. And what do you think happened? She fell in love with it. And she said, Mom, I want to sign up for Mary Kay. And the brilliant recruiter, my friend Ray, said, well, it makes a lot more sense if you sign up, put her underneath you, and that way if she does well, you'll make money. And I thought, well, that makes sense financially. And that, my friends, is how I came to be in Mary Kay Cosmetics, to make money off my kid. It's true. But you know what? Shock of shock. I fell in love with the products. I fell in love with the products in the starter kit, and I just started having fun with it, totally having fun with it. I was excited, I was having a blast. I didn't know all the details, ingredients, I didn't know if it went on your honey or your face. It didn't matter. I didn't know prices, but you know what I did have? A ton of passion and a ton of excitement. And you know what? 90 days later, after I started, I became a sales director. And I earned my first car. And 90 days after that, 6 months into Mary Kay, I earned my second car, and I completed the National Quarter Sharing. Now, I do not tell you this to impress anything upon you, but simply to totally impress you. Did it work? Well, I want to fast forward 3 years. I was having an absolute ball with my business. My super sexy, fabulous, awesome Southwest Airline pilot husband, Craig. You're welcome, baby. Was also a Navy reservist, and he went active duty for a year to Bahrain. Well, any military wives out there will tell you that things always go wrong in a deployment. And in the middle of that deployment, I was diagnosed with stage 3 triple negative breast cancer. I had a biopsy on a Monday, and 7 days later, I started chemotherapy. But you know what? From that day that I started chemo, I had a card or a gift from a Mary Kay woman around the country every single day for 4 months. It was incredible. And you know what? It was in this season that I made the decision that I would be in Mary Kay for life. Like forever. I'm not leaving. I had 6 months of chemo, mastectomy, 31 rounds of radiation, a year of treatment. But you know what I love to share about this year? I had another card delivered and I picked it up from the dealership bald. I increased my income $10,000 that year. That year of cancer, my income went up $10,000. And 6 months exactly from the day of my last treatment for cancer, we earned our first pink Cadillac. I tell you that because what shifted and what changed in all of that was my mindset. My mindset. I made a decision that I got to, not that I had to. I got to work, I got to drive my kiddo to school, I got to do booking appointments. I got to do all the things that we tell ourselves are have-tos. Remember, those are get-tos. I want to now fast forward. I'm going to fast forward to this year, 10 months ago, September. My sister Kim was also diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. She had the same treatment protocols. I'm in Florida, she's in Oklahoma. We were talking on the phone all the time and going over all the things that she was talking about. That she was going through. And in December, after she had been going through treatment for a couple of months, she called and she told me, I got a card from Paula, my neighbor. I said, you did? And she said, yes. It was my first card. It was like a gut punch. Because I had taken for granted the love and the support I had from the Mary Kay world. I think we assume that the rest of the world has it, and it broke my heart. So, I unfriended her on Facebook, so she couldn't see what I was doing. And I did a Facebook Live video, and most of my friends on Facebook, sad as this may seem, are in fact Mary Kay. And I asked you guys if there was any way you could send a quick note, or an email, or a card to her. 4 days later, she opens up her mailbox, and it is filled with 47 cards. The next day was 20-something, and then 30-something, then 20-something, and on and on. It was a miraculous showering of love from our Mary Kay world. She kept calling and calling, sending me pictures and texts. Look at this, look at this. She was so excited all the time. Look at this, look at this. She kept saying, I can't believe you did this. You changed my life. We saw each other a couple of weeks later over New Year's at a family reunion. And as we were hugging goodbye at the end of our vacation, she grabbed me by my shoulders. She looked at me and she said, thank you. Thank you. Your Mary Kay world changed my life. That was January 2nd. Eight days later, at 43 years old, my sister passed away in her sleep. When I went for her funeral and I walked into her house, her coffee table was filled, piled with cards from you guys. On the sofa where she had been laying, her blanket had been pulled back, I couldn't see it. And then at her feet, there was another pile of cards. Some had not even been opened. I don't tell you this story to upset you or to mess up all of your makeup. I tell you because I want you to understand the heart of this company who we really are, this culture that we fight to preserve, right? We are simply the best of the best. There is nothing else like us in the world. Thank you, Mom, Nanny, and Jody, for being here to support me as I tell this story. I love you to the moon. Dad, I wish you were here. The walking would have killed you. Mackenzie and Ellison, my daughters, I'm so glad God gave me the gift of being your mom. You have always been my reason why. And Craig, my lobster. You are my forever perfect partner. Thank you for letting me run this race and supporting me all year long. It has come to my attention that I may not be the easiest person to live with. But I'm so worth it! Thank you, God, for giving me Julia Wilson and her unwavering belief in me this year. Nathan Moore, you should probably give her a bonus. Thank you for the unconditional love of my senior director and dearest friend, Wendy Presley, wherever you are. Oh, hi, honey. My amazing Amy, Bridgie, and Casey, I love you. My national and my friend. With her record-breaking career, cast a vision for me of what was possible. Thank you. And my sweet Callie DeBlander Brigham. My dreams were attached to yours. Thank you for doing the million 2 years ago and giving me the vision. Girl, you are my ride or die. 15 months ago, I made a decision that we would be $1 million unit. I had no evidence to support that this was a good idea or the right move, given that we were just finishing up $350,000 that year. But I believed I had it in me. Many years ago at seminar, one of my teachers said in a class, she said this, what percentage of your abilities do you work within? 10% popped into my head. And I knew it was time to be more. When you make a decision to do something big, know that always starts with you. It's your vision, your goal, your desire, your hard work. Remember, God can move mountains, but don't be surprised when he throws you the shovel. We started this year, a year ago, with a unit of 145. And I made a decision to lead by example. I wouldn't ask anyone to do something I wasn't willing to do myself. I would see more faces than I had ever seen. And then they saw more faces. I would recruit more than I had ever recruited, and you know what? They recruited more than they had ever recruited. I would earn a medal every single month, and then you know what? They started earning medals over and over and over. And we grew, and we grew, and we grew. But I'll tell you what, even as much as we grew, by the end of December, I could not see how we could possibly finish million. Our production had never hit the 30s. We were in the 20s every single month. And then on January 10th, when we lost my sister Kim, I had every reason to stop. No one would have questioned why we didn't hit our goal. No one would have thought me less of a woman.